Ladies and gentlemen, just Sunstrider here. Welcome back to Sunstrider's Guide to Planetside 2, but I think this might actually be the final video of Sunstrider's Guide to Planetside 2 because I covered most of what is generally needed for Planetside 2. I covered all the basic knowledge stuff, and I don't feel like going into detail about, each individual class. I might do it later on, but for now, there are plenty of other people who are better at explaining stuff than I am that have made these more in-depth guides. So I suggest you search them up. But regardless, I mean, it's the final. It's probably going to be the final episode of my guide playlist. But before I go, I'm going to leave you off with a couple of general knowledge, general tips for the game, as well as I'm gonna give you guys this opportunity, I guess. Well, at the start, I don't necessarily feel like doing like full on guide gameplay where I pretty much just play on this character from battle rank 1 to whatever, and it's going to be separate from my basic or my normal gameplay, and it's going to be uploaded, I think maybe one uncut, like unedited video that's going to be maybe a half an hour to an hour long each week, each weekend. So like on Friday night I could record it, and then, or no, Saturday night I could record it, and Sunday I could upload it if I don't work on the weekends, of course. But I may not be open to the thought right away, because as you may know, I have my normal gameplay videos going up. So if you really want to see all of these skills and classes in action, you could always go and watch my normal gameplay, right? Where I actually have stuff unlocked and stuff. But if you guys really, really want to, and if you guys would actually watch it, right? You guys would seriously have to watch them. And I may not have to give feedback, but at least, pretend you're interested in it. And then I might consider doing guide gameplay where it's going to be like 1 hour every week, and as long as I don't work. Right? But anyway, now that that's settled, some general tips that I would give to new players is know your weapons and know what you're getting into. That's the first one, at least, right? When you choose a faction, not only do you choose your backstory, you also choose the general basis of how your weapons will work. Terran Republic weapons are all ballistics based, so they do less damage, but they fire faster, and they generally have more ammunition, like more bullets in a magazine or a clip or whatever the hell you want to call it, depending on the weapon. And they generally have high ammo capacity, and they shoot faster, but they do less damage. Big examples of this would be the heavy assaults chain gun here. Alright. Or the Lynx, I believe is what it's called. I just don't have it unlocked on this character because I bought it with certs on my main Terran soldier. The Lynx, and even the Dragon. Like, out of the 3 new battle rifles recently came out, the Dragon for the TR, the Bishop for the new Conglomerate, and the Oblek, I have no idea how to pronounce weird Vanu alien technology. But the Dragon is the only one that's fully automatic. So the TR really focus on fire rate and ammo capacity. But that being said, the recoil is also a lot sharper, right? Right? It's definitely more noticeable. right? It kind of glides instead of like, hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying, but you know, the recoil patterns are more smooth, I guess you could say, and they're definitely they almost feel kind of floaty, you know? They almost feel floaty, the way the recoil works with these guns. While the new conglomerates, on the other hand, they focus on Gauss-based weapons, but they do more damage, but they have less fire rate, and generally average magazine size capacities. And the new conglomerate recoil is a lot more clunky, right? You know, it feels a lot slower. It feels a lot more, maybe a lot more clunky to control. And then Vanu weapons are kind of like an all-rounder in-between thing, right? You know, the Vanu are kind of like Jack of all trades, master of none. Right, so they have average fire rates, normal magazine capacities, and the recoil is somewhere in between TR and NC. Although some specific Vanu weapons, because they're plasma-based technology, some of their weapons are have like no bullet drop or very little recoil. So like charge-based weapons, like I believe there's a charged up like full-on laser rocket launcher that just fires a single laser and like not an actual like explosive charge. And then there's also like a charged up sniper rifle, I believe, and there's probably a few others in there as well, but I don't know, I don't play a lot of Vanu, so I don't know too many of their weapons off by heart. But pretty much, the main thing I'd probably suggest to new players is keep in mind the weapons you are using and like how your class's weapons operate. And then of course there's Nanite Systems weapons, which if you don't know what Nanite Systems is kind of like a neutral firearms developer and manufacturer who just develops weapons and just releases them into the wild, you could say. So like the Pilot, the Hunter QX, Underboss, Commissioner, Blackhand, Embassy, Tahome, PDW, MKV, Baron, Archer, Tahoe. All of these weapons are Nanite Systems weapons. Any faction can use these weapons, and no matter what faction you're playing on, the weapon sounds and the tracer color is all the same, right? Because Terran Republic weapons, their tracers are mainly red, NC blue, and Vanu purple, right? It makes sense. It's their main faction colors. But all Nanite Systems weapons kind of has like maybe like this goldish tint to them, you know? At least the tracer fires, and they all sound the same, and they all have the same tracers, and like flash, you know, like when you shoot a weapon, you know, the muzzle flash. You guys probably know that already. But all the muzzle flash is all the same and all that stuff. So sometimes it'd be hard to tell if you hear a Nanite Systems weapon, it'd be kind of hard to tell if it's a friendly or an enemy. That's why this little thing right here is probably your best friend in any kind of situation. Because if an enemy's firing an Nanite Systems weapons, then like a blue or a purple dot will appear on the map, right? It's general logic. But there are also specific tools like infiltrator motion sensors and sensor darts that will also reveal enemies. It will even show cloaked infiltrators, I believe. I know, right? Fucking bullshit, but whatever. It'll also show enemy cloaked infiltrators, and if you keep an eye on that map, you can probably protect yourself and your teammates from flanking attacks. So your minimap is your best friend. And it also shows current population numbers if you expand it. The default key to expand the minimap is H, in case you guys are wondering. The next up on the must-know tips and tricks featuring Jet Sunstrider is your voice macros. Your voice macros is going to be your primary quick mode of communication with your teammates, because it is the V key by default, but you can obviously change this if you guys really want to. And pretty much you hit the V, the macros, you hit the V key, all those macros show up, and you press the corresponding number. So if you're in a pinch, if you're in the middle of a gunfight, and all of a sudden you get shot, your shields go down, you take like half health, but you don't have any medkits on you, you can hit V2 and ask for healing. That way, nearby combat medics will see your little, and they'll appear both on the HUD and on the minimap. Like you'll show up, like your triangle here will be replaced by a little like cross, like a medical cross. And then hopefully the ones that are actually paying attention and playing their class right will see you and go over to you and heal you. I mean, you know, the same will happen with ammo, although like your little bullet casings will show up instead of your triangle. Repair, if you're in a max suit, you'll show up as like a little wrench icon. And then there are just funny ones like taunt. Like if you kill a enemy in a funny way, you can troll them with taunting. Can hit V8 for quick apologies in case you maybe hit a teammate by accident. But if I accidentally kill a teammate, I always like / tell them and like apologize, you know, like directly instead of just V8. And other than that, voice macros are your friend. Also, the Q key by default is how you spot enemies. Fucking spam this. It will highlight enemies for your team, and it will also get you spot bonus ribbons if they get killed after you spot them, although there are no training dummies down here, so I can't really showcase that. Right. Moving on. The next thing you probably would want to do is choose the class you want to stick to, right? Think about how you play other first-person shooter games and kind of pick the according class. Now, the best thing to do after you've chosen a specific class and you started getting kills and earning certification points is don't worry about your weapon upgrades. You're given some weapon upgrades by default, like you're given laser sights, optics, and I believe dark light flashlights on pistols. No, you have to buy dark light flashlights. Oh well. But yeah, you're given some weapon attachments automatically. Do not try to upgrade your weapons right off the bat. Upgrade your class's skills. They are the most important thing to you as a new player. They will be able to increase your class's survivability and effectiveness. And also a big thing I recommend is buy restoration kits. I prefer restoration kits just because it heals over time and not just a single shot. So if you hit yourself and then you get shot again, it will just keep healing you. Right? Because that's why I like restoration kits over medical kits. Always buy restoration kits or at least medical kits, right? Because you can't always count on medics being near you, and even if there are medics near you, you can't always trust them to do their actual fucking job right. So that's why I always roll with restoration kits on me. Now you could go tank mines or C4 claymores, but I've noticed over my past few years of Planetside 2 that C4 fucking useless. Hit detection with C4, at least on my end, is fucking useless. Because I have it on my main character, right? My main Terran Republic soldier. I'd sneak up on a lightning, stick it on the back, jump away, hit the detonator, but he doesn't take any damage, no hit markers, just an explosion. He turns around, fucking blasts me away. Right? I have bad experiences with C4. I fucking hate it with a burning passion. Take mines and claymores probably work a little bit better. I haven't really dabbled with them because I can't enter a fight without my restore kits, man. They have saved me many a time. So yeah, whatever class you want to main, don't main max or else you are a fucking cunt. Whatever class you want to main, upgrade their abilities, get restore and medical kits, save yourself the pain of having to deal with trying to rely on medics. Other than that, I already said in the implant video, don't worry about these if you're just starting out. It's just more tedious micromanagement for a newer player, in my opinion. And also, a thing about shooting is my advice is always shoot for the chest. I know headshots are good, but always shoot for the chest, because if you're just starting out and you're not good at managing your recoil will bring it up to the head and you'll at least land a couple of headshots. Also, what I've noticed in my experience, veteran players will actually crouch when engaged in a gunfight with you as kind of a way to fake you out because they always think their opponent is going for headshots. However, if you're like me and you just spray at their chest, if they crouch, they automatically just present you their head and you just fire a volley right in their head and they go down. I've noticed that in the past couple of months, a lot of veteran players are crouching in gunfights. So if you aim for the chest, and as long as you can decently manage your recoil, then you'll just fire a whole volley into their face and then they'll just go down, right? I don't recommend crouching in the middle of a gunfight. That is just a big way to get you killed. I don't know why people do it, but I figured it's kind of a waste of time. So, there you go. Also, rebind your mouse key or your melee key. If you're like me, the Z key, while it is good for getting the knife out for quick knifing, it ain't very convenient if you're trying to, like, move your finger down in a tense gunfight just to hit that Z button. I have my melee attack bound to mouse scroll down. That's why I can knife so quickly. If you ever watched my gameplay before, I just scroll the mouse wheel down, and then I hold it down immediately again after knifing, just so I don't get into a wild knifing spray because the mouse scroll wheel keeps scrolling, right? So that's kind of a trick there if you get caught in a tricky situation and you want to up your panic knifing game. I have a pretty solid mouse scroll wheel, so it doesn't keep scrolling when I scroll it. So, there you go. Nice Soldier Soaker, bro. Also, one thing, this is just me asking of people, don't join in random Zergs. Zergs are just one-sided, like, steamrolls, you know? It's like if XCOM on plasma weaponry went to, like, Operation Gatecrasher. It's just that over and over again, each base in a Zerg. And it's not fun. You don't get to experience active gameplay. It's not fun. You won't get kills, especially if you're on the giving end of a Zerg. If you're on the receiving end of a Zerg, trust me, it will make you rage quit. Don't be in Zergs, guys. Don't follow the horde. Go the path less traveled by. Seek out those smaller fights if you're a newer player. Trust me, they may seem boring at first, but they will get you a better experience than Zergs. I've learned this over 5 years of game time. Trust me on that one. But other than that, vehicles, same thing as the infantry classes. You know, figure out which vehicle you like. You get a couple of attachments, I believe. Yeah, you get at least weapon optics automatically. Don't worry about those. Don't worry about optics. Get your reload speed and ammo capacity up. Get your utilities, your performance, all that stuff up. Don't worry about weapons. And another plea, don't use fucking Hesh, dude. Hesh has become, like, so popular, it's like Fortnite. There's just too much of it. Right? And that's why I don't like Battle Royale games. They're too overhyped. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But Hesh, I mean, it's good again in infantry, but I prefer to use the armor-piercing rounds just because you always have a good, strong point against vehicles, and sure, you need to get a direct hit with infantry. I've kind of gotten good at that, but you know what? For newer players, just stick with the Hesh. Heat, not Hesh. No, don't go Hesh. Hesh is cancer, just like Battle Royale. Just stick with Heat, man. It's a master of all trades, you know? Or a jack of all trades, master of none. That's how the saying goes. But, yeah, other than that, I mean, those are just some basic gameplay tips and tricks. And that's really does it for Sunstrider's Guide to Planetside 2. Like I said, if you guys are actually interested in guide gameplay, please be honest here, you know. I will try my best to get a guide gameplay playlist rolling. It'll be on Terran Republic. I'll do no other faction with it. It'll be once a week, at least 1 hour long, and it'll be separate from my main gameplay. But if you want to see some actual legit gameplay with soldiers that actually have, you know, good upgrades and stuff, go watch my normal gameplay, like really. Anyway, that's enough shameless self-promotion for one day. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys have learned a thing or two. Hopefully you guys are interested in the game. Hopefully I got you guys into it. And avoid Zergs. You know, that's the main thing. Hesh is just kind of my personal vendetta. Don't mind me. That's just me being salty. But anyway, no, seriously, avoid Zergs, though. Like Zergs are cancer. They will make you rage quit if you're on the receiving end, and it will just bore you the hell shitless if you're on the giving end. Like, try to find those smaller fights. That's my biggest advice for you guys, for newer players at least. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thank you all for joining me on my guide playlist. I've had a lot of fun making this, you know, sharing my knowledge, hopefully getting a couple of you guys interested in the game. If so, I am on US West Conroy. That's my main server. At least this character's on Emerald, but I don't play this character like at all anyway. So I play on all 3 factions. So whatever faction you choose, if you play on US West Conroy, I may see you out there. And if we're on the same faction, hell, we maybe could even squad up. I don't really care, as long as I get to shoot people. Anyway, that's gonna call it here. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.